What are you drinking?
Capri Sun.
Maybe I'll join you.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I will.
Oh, how's it going, alright? This is the What's Occurin podcast with Cal and Chuck. So if you like jams on the ash, making an omelette, or a cheeky finger, then crack on. If not, back off. Tidy.
Here we are, mate.
Episode 5?
Oh
yes.
I think we should start kind of passing over from last week. So I came up with quite a controversial opinion that I was nervous about the Christmas special. They watched the Christmas special this week. So it must be the first time it was watched. And all the journalists love it. There was one tweet that said a girl, she was very nervous about it, obviously a lot on the line, said it was amazing. There we go.
I think we kind of always knew that it was going to be amazing, really. But whether they are being completely honest, we don't know yet because...
what are they going to bullshit about?
No, but they're not going to say, oh, guys, it's shit, are they? Let's be honest.
But
they're
predominantly,
not.
They would. They'd
they're
be
not.
honest. They
they're
would
not.
be honest. Yeah, they'd stir the
No, because
pot.
they then will fuck it for the whole production team and BBC.
But they're journalists, though. The journalists just write reviews. They don't care.
But they're not allowed to talk about specifics. So
they're
why
not allowed to talk about specifics, but they're allowed to say that they've seen it, and they all said it was amazing. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like
skepticism. Roles reversed.
No. I think it's going to be incredible, but I do genuinely think that they'd say it's incredible, even if it was shit.
No, not at all. No, because if you think about it, like when you listen to an album or a big movie comes out or whatever, they always put online the honest review. That's their job.
But they can't talk about the episode yet.
Yeah, but they can't talk about the episode, but they've all said how amazing it was.
Right, we could go all day here. We could go all day here.
You're pissing me off already.
Yeah, brilliant. There we go.
Jesus.
Right, episode 5. It's the episode where we see the barn dance. A great moment, but I can't help but feel for Bryn the whole episode. But he goes about it in the wrong way, doesn't he? He really does.
Yeah, he gets himself in a pickle, to say the least. But I think before we go into details, should we explain that we're drinking a Capri Sun this week?
Yeah.
Inspired
Mate,
by...
don't move it around in front of the mic so much. God, don't think people want to hear it all rustling. Oh, nightmare.
That is the sound of my childhood right here.
Yeah.
There we go. I haven't had one of these in ages.
Yeah, no, they are really nice. Big fan of them.
They're still pretty sugary as well. Should we just have a quick look at... So 330ml little carton we've got at the moment. 18% of the sugar daily allowance, 16 grams. It's not that bad, actually, to be
Brilliant.
fair.
Well, I mean, it's not great, is it?
Yeah. But I wouldn't have 5 of them.
Well, as I said to you on Twitter the other day, you're not running the London Marathon next year, so you really need to watch yourself, Chuck.
Climbing. Bit brutal.
You didn't like that one, did you?
I was trying to think of a good response, but I couldn't, and I was like, I can't be arsed. It wasn't that I didn't like it, I was just like, I don't even know what to say.
I'm
hungover, I'll just make him think that he thinks that I've taken it the wrong way. I feel like
I just called my mate fat online.
Yeah, I feel like silence was the best response to that.
Right, let's get on with the episode.
Anyway, one of my favourite quotes of the episode is Smithy at the start. He finally admitted to Gavin that he slept with Nessa in the previous episode. The corner of the cob. She just sucks me in. She's like a Dyson.
It's that sort of graphic.
Been a while since I've been at the crease.
Thing is, the whole been a while since it's been the crease.
I've been there.
It's, for a lot of people, so normal, you know. It throws them off after a while if they haven't been there, you know. Smithy especially, he's a sexually active male, let's be honest. As is Nessa's not a male, but Nessa's a very sexually present person.
He's still with Lucy at this point, isn't he?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh no, of course he's not. In the episode before, they've just broken up, haven't they? And the whole suicide joke.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Another gag that I really like in this scene is when Gavin says something to him. I can't remember exactly what. Really bad research for me. But he just turns around and goes, yeah, I need that like a hole in the bollock.
Oh, I can get that.
It's brilliant. That is one of my favourite lines this whole episode.
Well, what are you going to be like you when you see her tomorrow at the party? It's Gwen's surprise thing. It's great. I need that like a hole in the bollock.
It's the worst possible thing.
And that's also, I quite like that. It's kind of like the classic remembering that you've got an unwanted. We call them UFOs in our house. In fact,
UFOs.
when we finish this podcast, heading off to a UFO, unwanted family occasion. yeah. And it's kind of like
I was like, you're some weird alien family.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, I've got a UFO.
Got you.
Hit him like a hole in the bollock. There we go.
Yeah, interesting.
Next point to make in this episode.
We're going into Bryn. Okay, so obviously this episode, as we mentioned earlier, Bryn is organising the barn dance for Gwen, and the stress levels really are sky high in this whole entire episode. For Bryn, you know, he has these moments where you don't need to do it, man. He does these things, especially when Ted's at the door. It's honestly one of the most painful scenes. Awful.
Yeah, he just gets very, very stressed out, but... Just quick thoughts on surprise parties as a whole. I don't personally like them.
I've never actually had one.
I can kind of feel Bryn's panic as well, and obviously he's gone through this whole effort for Gwen. So I can kind of get that he is stressed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does get his knickers in a
well, especially as we know exactly how people in Barry are like. They talk constantly about everything, and they're not afraid to kind of spill the beans as such, are they?
Yeah.
So I can imagine Bryn's just shitting himself about that, really, that it's just going to be a talk of the town, and as he says later, it was talk of the town.
His rules as well for the venue that they're hiring, the town hall. No narcotics.
No guns.
No guns.
Ted's brilliant. He's a great cameo.
Ted is great, and then obviously later on in the episode it comes out that he's been trying to crack on with Doris as well. The thing is, I know your game, Ted. A cheeky poke on Facebook here.
Yeah, Doris is acting like a 21-year-old girl in this situation, just going for the chase.
We first see Scott as well.
Oh yeah, Scott. In the
episode
barn dance.
at the barn dance,
Yeah.
and he obviously is the toy boy that comes back as well in the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
The thing is with Scott, he likes his skunk. I did all that.
Oh, Scotty's a boy, isn't he?
Scotty is a boy. Funny enough, James Corden's favourite scene in the whole series is in this episode. Do you want to know what it is?
I'm going to take a guess.
Unless you've seen...
Is he in the scene?
Yeah, he's in the scene. His favourite scene in the whole 3-series Christmas special of Gavin and Stacey is in this episode.
Oh.
Which, funny enough, a couple of the conversations I had with people, they're not a fan of this episode. Not a fan.
You know what? I can't think.
Shall I tell you?
When you say it, it's going to really kick me.
The Wild in Motion rap. That is his favourite scene in the whole of Gavin and Stacey. The reason why, he says, is because he was proud that felt like watching it 4 people in a room who knew each other for 17 years, and they like gave off that impression.
Yeah.
And you can see it. Like, it genuinely feels like they, you know, Pam coming in and the way they're all just interacting.
Yeah.
Just feels like they've been best friends for that long, and you really get that impression. So it kind of makes a lot of sense when you put that into context.
That is true. I can see why he's kind of loved how that's come off as such.
Yeah, and Nick's face throughout the whole thing is just comedy gold. Hilarious. He looks drunk.
Yeah, he does.
He's kind of got like his shirt like a bit undone. Obviously, he's a self-employed man. So
he makes his own hours.
He has had a couple. Maybe he has had a couple of early ones with lunch. Nessa, we're introduced her self-loathing tendencies.
So what I found really interesting about this, Chuck, is how we both said... So I was making some notes about this episode, and then you came. It's like, oh, Cal, I just noticed this bit that I've never noticed before when she goes and washes her hands under the sink. And I literally said to you, I've literally just written that down. It was one of the perfect moments because you both noticed it after watching it for so many times. So shall we describe it? Because a lot of people might not have realised this because it's genuinely amazing. So Nessa is in Gwen's house and she asks for the AA batteries, wants to borrow some AA's, pulls them out of the remote control, and then refers to the fact she's going for a bit of me time. 10 minutes or so.
Big connotations of,
bashing one out.
Beating the meat as we are. Let's not go down that route.
We could go down that
been there
dark
before.
spiral.
And then she comes back and she says... Oh, did you use the batteries? Yeah. Oh, thanks. Didn't need them in the end. And then as she's saying that, she leans over the kitchen sink and washes her fingers and just nonchalantly continues the conversation.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah, Gwen's so okay with it as well. She knows exactly. Gwen knows, mate.
Before, Gwen's a slightly filthy mum, isn't
yeah,
she?
she is.
Like with the, when they speak to Gavin in series 3 about her and Stacey's love life, it's all a bit weird and a bit too sexual.
It's too much.
For a
it's too
mother.
much.
But that is incredible. If you rewatch the Barn Dance episode anytime soon, please do notice it. You will notice it. It's incredible. Just another quick thing to cover. Pam is finally, we see that she's caught by Stacey, that she's potentially not a vegetarian. She's caught eating Pam. Pam, you're eating ham, Pam.
So yeah, you have an idea throughout this whole scene that the Welsh contingent know that Pam's not actually a vegetarian.
Of course.
But when you see Stacey's reaction to Pam eating ham, you think, hang on, has she actually played this really well? Because Stacey's so shocked. She's actually quite upset by it all.
But then she says about the vegetarian sausages.
Changing the Lindas around.
But I love just how weird Pam goes. And I've got the line here. She says, "Promise thee, thou shalt not speak of this to no one." What are you on about? Swear it, forsake me not. Pam, just don't tell anyone, alright? And Pam's got this tendency to come out with those weird kind of like almost religious
religious things. Well, she did that thing where she went like, she did the...
Jesus, when Smithy comes back from the drive-thru. Very bizarre. We also see in this episode the first real signs that there's a big problem with Gavin and Stacey's relationship.
Yes, the cracks begin to show.
And literally at the end, Stacey says, "No, I'm moving back home."
Gavin's a dick in this episode.
He is a dick.
I think that's what we need to talk about next.
The way he kind of just doesn't brushes off Jason when Jason appears. Bearing in mind, Jason's come over from Spain. Probably.
That was awful.
They've only really met not that much.
Yeah.
Because he only came over for the wedding.
Also, he says,
met him a few times.
we'll leave early tomorrow. She's like, well, I've just got here.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I want to spend a bit of time at home this weekend. It's like, mate, you live there.
Exactly.
I mean, if I was on the receiving end of that, I'd be like, you're a bastard,
mate.
No
compromise there.
No, zero.
Poor relationship.
No. I have to say,
Gavin.
very, very unlike Gavin, because he's like, throughout this whole show, he's very much like,
he is out of character.
He's very much like, oh, Stacey, I love you. Oh, I'll do anything for you.
Kind of dotes over it, but you kind of see this first sign of. But it's good because it shows you that there's vulnerability in the relationship.
Now, also, the whole thing between a mother and her son in a relationship, sort of thing. A mother always has that bit of jealousy. Pam has that jealousy with Gavin.
She likes getting involved with the relationship a bit too much.
Gavin almost kind of panders to it because he doesn't want to upset his mum. Now, everyone's guilty of this. You don't want to upset your family. And you're always kind of in that position where you might want to say the wrong thing here and there. But Gavin, he full on takes his mum's sides here and doesn't see Stacey's point. I mean, it's a serious bit of writing.
It's poor behaviour from Gavin. We also see a real bit of Smithy being evidently jealous towards Nessa and Pete's kind of
Dave.
brand new relationship. Pete. I always call Pete Dave, don't I? Dave Pete even.
They became one at that punch.
Yeah, literally. So it's interesting because this is the first time that Stacey kind of really sees it.
Yeah.
It's like, Smithy, are you jealous? Because obviously Stacey is Nessa's best friend. So she doesn't really get that side of it. I think Gavin kind of always has it in the back of his mind.
Just lets him get on with it, sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of doesn't get too involved, which is, I think, a wise move to do. But obviously you see the whole scene of them chatting about them shagging, which is fun.
Christ.
But it's funny, and it kind of really builds up to where the Christmas special's going and the last episode of this series, because that's when Gavin and Stacey's relationship really comes to a head, and then you see at the end of the series that they're going to be okay. But then you see also in the Christmas special, which is, you've got to remember that the last episode kind of between the second and third series is where it all comes to a head for Smithy when Nessa and Dave propose, get engaged, and that's kind of you really feel for Smithy, and it's the start of that. And it's interesting to see that they start that 4 episodes before, I guess. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 3 episodes.
They are really good at feeding storylines in this show, aren't they? They start things at the perfect time and let you drip into them.
So you just keep on seeing hints of it, and then it comes to a head where all the characters potentially
Absolutely.
get involved with it.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting point to make, Cal.
Yeah, it is. It's always good to like dissect the way writers make things.
And
you know?
of course, this was the birth of Nessa and Bryn singing together, Islands in the Stream, and the birth of a comic relief single that went viral. How many hits? It sold loads of.
It sold loads of
albums.
copies, but I will not say the amount because it might be a question later on in the quiz.
All right.
So we'll leave that. But it did sell a lot.
Google that. No, it did sell a lot, and
Yeah.
I remember seeing a clip as well of Ruth Jones, saying that was the first time where they really were like, shit, oh my god, we've made it. Like, it was, Nessa was like so proud. She's like, so Bryn, they're all from like similar place in Wales, and Tom Jones as well.
Amazing.
In Vegas.
Tom
singing.
Jones is such a bloke. I
and they're
love
all
him.
Tom Jones, hero.
Yeah.
And they're all in Vegas singing Islands in the Stream with Tom
Incredible,
Jones. They're like,
yeah.
this is it. Like, from nothing, Gavin and Stacey has taken that to there, which is really heartwarming. And of course, the barn dance as well.
Yeah, the barn dance. It's an amazing kind of meeting of everyone, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
As he said, we've got Gavin, he's being an arsehole. He ignores Jason. Jason comes in, have that awkward moment between him and Bryn, and also the awkward moment between Gwen and Jean, who we don't actually see.
Before we go on to that, though, interestingly, I just noticed something in the barn dance. I couldn't work out why. It's probably something not so malicious, but Stacey isn't doing the barn dance. I don't know why. Is that perhaps because she's got the arse of Gavin?
I think it is more
She
that.
doesn't want to dance.
But then also, do you notice Gavin's dancing with another woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
There
a
we
young
go.
woman. Like, she's not an
we
old
go.
biddy, is she?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Gwen and June.
Right.
The one and only Jean. Another genius, unseen character.
Jean, yes.
Genius. Oh, Jesus Christ.
God. Fuck.
Moving on. Anyway, this week's email segment, we are asking for your Jean theories, and we've got our very own detailed ones.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly talk about Jean, though. So, what do we know? We know there was an incident involved with scissors.
And it involves Gwen's mum.
It involves Gwen's mum.
And also, Doris said she staggered in, which alludes to the fact she might have a drink problem. Okay? So you're hearing my theory later on.
Okay.
That,
I didn't know those bits. So
I did some further digging. And Doris was like, yeah, she staggered on in. And then also she said she involves her mum. So you've got to go and think of all the three things that kind of link
really
together.
Doesn't like her. One other thing that I really like about Bryn as well, I just remembered, is earpiece he's got on the day of the...
Oh, yeah. No, Jean, do not do that. That is rude.
But yeah, Jean, interesting character who they all hate. And Doris just sticks her middle finger up at her as well.
Jean.
But should we get on with
Yeah,
it?
I just want to read this one out. I got from Tom on email.
Okay.
Tom said, to do with the scissors, that Jean simply went up to Gwen when she was 16 years old at school and chopped her ponytail off. And that was it.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a fairly obvious one. I think if you're involving
feasible.
scissors, it's feasible. You can understand, but would you hold a grudge until you're like 60-odd about that?
No. Well, I don't know. It's the sort of thing that perhaps small town kind of...
Yeah.
As you like to allude to, the sort of thing that, you know, an incident like that would occur, that you would... Who knows? You think it's a grudge? Well, of course it is.
It is a grudge. It is a grudge.
Should we go for it?
Yeah.
Who's going first?
I don't mind going first here, purely because I feel like mine, from what you said when writing yours might be a bit more dirty than mine.
All right. I don't mind.
Okay, I can go first if you
Rock,
want.
paper, scissors?
All right, yes, rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper,
paper,
scissors.
scissors.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. All right. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first then.
Go for it.
Okay. So I've written a little
excited.
story to this. Roll music, please. Now, it all started when Gwen was 8 years old. A competition was held to see who will open up the amusement centre that Nessa now works at. Each child had to present the mayor with a talent of some sort. 8-year-old Gwen presented him with a tasting platter of unique seasonal omelettes, and oh boy, did he love them. From truffle to filet mignon, the toppings were endless.
He's got it.
And he loved it. But the competition was rife, and the expectation was immense.
I knew you were
But
gonna go
Gwen
big.
was the lucky child who was selected by the mayor. The day rolls around. It was a warm summer's Sunday morning. Gwen's mother picked her out a smart dress to wear down to the square. It was almost time to cut the rope. But Gwen...
Oh my God, mate, you have no idea.
Relax. But Gwen, at the corner of her eye, sees 8-year-old Jean charge at the red ribbon placed beautifully across the door. Jean gets in front of Gwen like a star striker in the Premier League, and what happens next fills me with absolute horror. She cuts the ribbon. This moment, the dream, the honour, all ruined by that spoiled little brat Jean. The two mothers locked horns and created a fierce tension down in the square, causing the town to divide. As a result of this moment, the town turned against 8-year-old Jean. She then left school at 16, whilst living in a town full of anger towards her, so she hit the drink. The reason Doris was involved and has such distaste for her is because she was shagging the mayor at the time, so played a large role in choosing Gwen as the winner of the competition. What do we think? What do we think?
Mate, my story is basically identical.
No way!
Are you kidding?
Cutting the rope.
Yeah. Oh, no. Shall I go for it? I love it. I love
Wrong music.
So, it was an autumnal weekend in the Isle of Barry. Bryn was pumping iron. Nessa was pleasuring herself. Whilst Doris tucked into a mid-morning glass of red with her toy boy Scott. Meanwhile, Gwen was down at the local town hall, doing what she does best, making omelettes for the local council meeting. Topics such as parking on the streets of Barry Island, and even the threat of immigrants from nearby Newport were being discussed. Then, attention swiftly turned to the new home gym on the streets of Barry, and it was at this point the conversation intensified. That afternoon, residents were due to reside at 47 Trinity Street, home to a certain Mr. West, to commemorate the new attraction. The meeting then concluded with Gwen, brother of new gym owner Bryn, scheduled to help Bryn with the opening of his new business. Locals were out in force. Dick Powell and even his brother Rick was there. Ted, head of the town hall, had made an appearance, even though much to Doris's dismay, and there after the ceremony was due to take place. It was then, with the speeches were made and a ribbon was due to be cut, that Jean turned up and cut the ribbon instead of Mr. West's sister and business partner Gwen, and from that day onwards, there is the reason why Gwen and Jean hate each other.
Mate, you actually can't write it, can you? Can I just say, Chuck and I had no conversation about this.
Yeah, we thought, alright, we sat down before recording this episode and wrote our own.
Yeah.
Zero conversation. We said, should we read them out beforehand? We said, no, we'll do it whilst recording.
Those are our two Gwen and Jean theories. Let us know what yours are. Please get in touch on Twitter at What's Occurring Pod. Tell us what you think happened between them, because I do think that something big did happen. And I think cutting a ribbon, if it involves a pair of scissors...
I think that tells a story there, that it must have been something like a town hall opening or some sort of small town little opening event with a plaque of some sorts, and they given Gwen, the lovely lady of 47 Trinity Street. So this week's character analysis... Fucking hell. Like, I think we've just underplayed this. It's a biggie.
This is the biggest one we've done, hands down.
Keira Knight, Joe Writer from first series, she wants to marry Bryn. This is her god-tier character.
Yeah. I think he's most people's god-tier character.
I think
he's mine.
Hands down. So where do we start with such a legend? In fact, his name isn't Bryn. That's where we start.
Yeah, what is it? What's his full name?
Bryn 4 West.
Bryn 4.
Bryn 4 West.
But why does he say his name means hill?
Bryn. Does it mean hill in Welsh?
Yeah, it does actually mean hill.
Have you
like,
actually
I
Googled
have
that?
looked that, yeah. Chuck's just searching it.
In Welsh.
By the way.
I
have searched it. Yeah, it does mean hill. So what does Bryn Forth mean? It's just ridiculous.
Here we go. Bryn 4 means hill fort.
So his name means a fucking...
His name's Hill Fort.
A fort on a hill. Fuck me, what a reach. That is such a reach.
He's Stacey and Jason's uncle. He is brother of Stacey's deceased father, Trevor.
Diseased?
God rest his... Deceased.
Alright, okay, just...
God rest his soul.
Yeah,
he's
God
a
rest
single
his
man
soul.
in his late 40s. He lives across the road from Stacey, his sister-in-law, and he's very protective of Gwen as well.
And unemployed.
Yeah, which is an interesting
Really odd.
observation.
Well, it's not odd. I've no problem with people unemployed. Just getting out there.
But Gwen and him appear to be unemployed, so how do they get their spondoolies?
That's the thing. Well, obviously Mick and Pam paid for most of the wedding, but
Yeah.
they must own their house mortgage free. They must be, must have had some decent sort of inheritance from Trevor, the late.
Perhaps Trevor was a well-off guy, maybe.
I think he was. I feel like there was they alluded to the fact that he was quite a successful man
Yeah.
at some point.
You might be right there.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really, really like Bryn and Smithy's relationship. Like,
It's
one of
great,
my
yeah.
favourite. We've touched on it beforehand, but I absolutely love it. And I also like his relationship with Nessa as well. It's fair to say he leads a pretty simple life.
Yeah, he does.
Gets blown away by the very smallest of things. The nano. We did a full segment the other day, didn't we, about his simple pleasures, what he'd enjoy in the 2019, shall we say? And the Nano is a classic. He's got a questionable movie taste as well.
Yeah,
Like
I think Bryn, he's one of these people, like you know people where they're kind of live a very sort of mediocre life. They don't like being tested by anything.
Yeah.
They don't really like pushing the boat out. They kind of watch, they're sort of fans of Friends, but they won't ever watch like sort of British comedies that are a bit dry that make you think.
Yeah.
They only watch American humour, and they just watch shit movies like Sex and the City. They don't ever watch like crime thrillers and stuff like that. He's just one of those people, isn't he? He just is, isn't he?
Yeah, he likes watching the same movie over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of me as well.
Really?
Yeah,
I have like a couple films I do that.
I don't know why. I just struggle to watch new films. So
Yeah.
I end up just watching films I've already seen.
No, fair enough.
But then when do they become a film that you've watched? I don't know.
Yeah.
We've touched on this multiple times before, but he is latent to showing homosexual tendencies. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, no, he's
and we have
gay,
a full-on
put it that
theory. So you're going out there and saying...
I think he's either gay or asexual, but I mean, it's leaning towards gay because I think there's too many connotations about the fact that Bryn is into men for him not to be gay. But also we've never seen a reference of a female. They've never even talked about a past wife, a past girlfriend. Nothing has ever been mentioned.
Yeah, apart from the fishing trip.
Which makes him sound gay. Indeed.
Shall we move on to Bryn 4 West top 3 moments?
Yeah, but I don't mean to sound brash when I say that, but I think he was
No, I agree. Okay, so in at number 3. Needless to say, this was a tight vote.
These are coming to me first time, by the way. I haven't actually seen the results.
Okay, here we go. At number 3, the rape alarm.
Okay. I think it deserved 3 out of the... it's deserved in 3rd place out of the 3 that we chose.
I voted for the rape alarm.
Did you?
Yeah, I tell you why. Again, Ruth Jones and James Corden say that this was the first sort of moment that they realised that they'd written something pretty good, was where the line, "I don't want anyone in this room being raped, myself included." Again, it's that way of creating humour out of a serious topic. Myself included is just hilarious. And they said they hadn't even known who that character was, but they just knew it was funny, and then that's where Bryn developed from, that line. So Bryn almost develops from that kind of like
the best
person. So that's why I really like it.
I think the best part for that scene for me is when it comes back to them. It's "you perverted piece of shit." That's the best bit.
And at number 2 is Bryn's discovery of the internet.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Very funny moment.
It deserves a place high up.
Yeah.
It deserves to be second.
The thing is, with a top 3, you're never going to be happy. You're never
going to be happy. Yeah. In at number 1, by quite a steady margin, with over half of the vote, the Cardiff Night Out.
That's what I voted for.
And you can't argue with it.
No.
Things you love to see.
Bryn has this moment, a very uncharacteristic moment, as we said. He's a very easy man. Like, he doesn't really do too much to push the boat out, but there he's he's having a pint with the boys, and he's taking it too far.
He has indeed. There we go. Bryn 4 West.
Amazing
character.
Bryn, you're my favourite, mate.
And shout out to Mr. Rob Brydon as well.
He's incredible.
Absolutely incredible. And yeah, there we go.
I'm looking forward to seeing him in the Christmas special the most.
I am indeed. Yeah. Me too.
So for this week's Superfan segment, on the back of last week's crushing defeat, Chuck, you weren't too happy about that, were you?
Let's just move on. Who's on this week?
This week we have superfan Abby. Abby has been listening to the podcast throughout the whole season, and she's a huge fan of Gavin and Stacey, and she's got some massive love for James Corden, and she'll explain more about that, I'm sure. But
indeed.
Hello, Abby.
Hello, you okay? Thank you.
Good. So you're a massive Gavin and Stacey fan, obviously, and you've been listening to the podcast for a while now. What sort of stuff? Why did you get into the podcast? What was the thing that drew you to it?
Probably the fucking programme.
Oh, shut up. Go on, tell us. What's your story behind it?
Well, the first time I found it is when I dressed up as Nessa for the first time.
Oh, nice.
And all my friends were putting it on like Twitter and stuff, and then they were like finding anyone to tag who has anything to do with Gavin and Stacey. So found you, and then I found the podcast, and then I listened to them ever since.
Oh, love to see it.
Things you love to see.
So you're familiar with the Superfan segment that we have a 30-second pitch for the Superfan. It's your chance to preach to us why you are the biggest Gavin and Stacey Superfan. It's a big moment, and if you heard last week, Cameron, he actually had never seen the programme.
That's the line.
I was angry. It's such
the bar has been set. You were angry. You have no idea how pissed off I was.
I was so angry. I was fuming.
It was genuinely the most irritating thing that's ever happened to me. But, I'm over it.
Oh, no, it definitely was not rigged at all. Okay, so, Abby, I'm going to start your 30-second countdown. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, so I'm the biggest Gavin and Stacey fan because I literally dress up as Nessa, as I just told you, at any occasion I literally can. I only drink pints of wine on any night out, that's why I'm hungover today. Anytime out and I've got the chance to sing Irons in the Stream, I'm literally there. And then I've got a life-size cutout of James Corden. I've got all the Gavin and Stacey masks in my room. I only wrap my presents in tinfoil, of course, it's 2008. And James Corden follows me on Twitter because he knows I'm
what a way to close it off. Your time is out. Your time is up.
Right, that was incredible. I just want to ask one quick question. So you say any given opportunity dress up as Nessa. I'm just imagining you at a funeral dressed up as Nessa.
I've not gone that far, but like my staff party, I just turned up as Nessa. So there's that.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, I came out of the car with Irons in the Stream on, singing it in the car park. That's what.
Okay, so Abby, you're aware of how our scoring system works. We judge your pitch out of 5, and then your question tally is then doubled if you beat Chuck. So at the moment, me and Chuck need to decide what we're giving you for the pitch.
Yeah, here we go.
Say our answers on 3, 2, 1.
As we do always. 3, 2, 1, 4. Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
Agreed.
We're in sync.
Solid. I tell you what, I was tempted by 5.
Were you?
Purely because of the follow by Corden.
Yeah.
Can you explain how that happened?
Who else has been followed by James on this?
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
How that happened? Was it a lot of grovelling or did you bump into him?
I generally no, I've never bumped into him. Don't decide or I'll cry. I tweet him sometimes, and then one night it was so random, I just tweeted a picture because I've got a pillow and this photograph on my wall of him. I sound like a crazy woman. And then
wait, hold up. What's this pillow? I'm a little bit disturbed.
Yeah, that is not an image I want in my head.
But that's what I tweeted, and then he followed me after that. So
you got a pillow with his face on?
I've got a pillow with his face on, a carved out, pictures on my wall. I've got all the cast of Gavin and Stacey on my wall, the faces you wear, the masks.
Right, I'm saying VAR. 4 out of 5. We're heading upstairs. The TV referee. Yeah. It's a 5.
We've gone to Stockley Park and we can confirm it's a 5. Yeah, it's a 5.
We've spoken to the VAR in Billericay. Yeah, it's a 5. There we go.
Oh dear.
Should we crack on straight with the quiz?
Yeah, let's.
Just before we do, I've just said to Callum, Abby, you're going to be slightly perplexed by this. I haven't actually seen this episode for a little while. So
No, I haven't really. I was going to
I'm
watch
not feeling
it
too
yesterday,
confident.
but I went out last night, so I'm a little bit hungover as well.
Oh, here we go. The hungover. We've had hungover people on before, and they usually do all right. You know, you're not overthinking your answers. I'm not hungover.
No,
so
neither am I. However, I'm absolutely shattered. That is, but I'm the question martyr, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, Abby. I'm gonna flip a coin, and I want you to call it. So I'm gonna tell you when I'm gonna flip it. This is a virtual flip for those listening. Just so you know, I'm not actually flipping a coin.
I think I have got a coin in it.
It's fine. I've got the power of the internet in front of me, Chuck. It's fine.
He's got the power of the
it's all good. It's all good. Right. 3, 2, 1. Call.
Heads.
It's calculating. It's tails.
It's
tails.
It's calculating.
It said flipping. Okay.
Such is the way that.
So Chuck,
Bryn, can we just say Bryn would be all over the virtual flip?
He would. I was going to ask Siri, but I thought then that would get too complicated. Okay, so Chuck, that means you get the choice. Do you want to go first or second?
I'm going to go second.
Are you? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What's your tactic behind that?
Don't know, just fancied it.
Fair enough. Okay, Abby, you're up first.
Okay,
Episode 5, obviously. Great episode. The barn dance episode.
great.
Your first question. What batteries does Nessa want?
AA.
Can I specify how many AAs she wants?
2.
That is correct.
Oh, that is
So from the remote control.
yeah.
And we know why.
Yeah.
We don't need to go any further. This is a family show. Okay, Chuck, your first question. What was the rough time gap between this episode and episode 4? So you're able to get an idea of the time frame. Because Smithy slept with Nessa this amount of time ago.
Oh, I know.
She knows me. You're on the ropes. You're like the Logan Paul of Gavin and Stacey. I'll just have a sip of my Capri Sun whilst I wait.
Holy fuck.
Excellent choice of drink.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to just have a little guess.
Have a guess.
2 days.
No.
1 month.
A month?
Yeah.
What?
They played football last week.
Yeah. And he says that was a month ago, Smithy. When he's talking about having sex with Nessa.
Alright.
Tough luck, mate. Tough luck.
Oh.
Okay, Abby, your second question to take it into an advantage. Blimey.
Nightmare.
Who does Gavin and Smithy liken Bryn to at the barn dance?
It's what, sorry?
Who does Gavin and Smithy liken Bryn to at the barn dance?
Woody from Toy Story.
Correct.
From Toy Story.
Yeah.
I actually hear him saying it.
I'm up against it.
Okay, Chuck, which famous singer does Bryn compare Smithy to?
I know it.
She knows it all.
Why? I'm off the boil. I'm off the Susan.
Yeah, I was about to make the same gag. That's how desperately sad we are.
I'm off the boil here.
Mate,
can I
you don't know. You can answer, but you won't get any extra points for it. But what is?
Hold off.
Wait,
hold off.
you get. You're not. Time's not up yet, mate.
Is it Gareth Gates?
Gareth
It's not
Gates.
Gareth Gates.
Well,
no,
you've
I don't know.
made your answer.
I don't
now.
know.
You really needed to do the revision.
Oh no!
It's Enrique Iglesias, isn't it, Abby?
Yeah, it is.
Enrique
He's not good
Iglesias.
looking in a conventional way like Gavin and Enrique Iglesias.
She knows, mate. She knows. Okay, Abby, your third question.
This is where I'll get it wrong now.
Well, no, you've still got
too
a
bad.
healthy advantage. A
nightmare.
healthy advantage.
This is awful.
Whose funeral did Bryn and Nessa last perform at?
Oh, right. I know it was in 96. And is it Judith's funeral in 96?
That is the exact words I have written in front of me.
No!
Incredible.
This is a nightmare of epic
It is
proportions.
indeed Judith's funeral in 96.
Oh wait, that's it. This game set a match. Oh no, it's not. I need to get this right.
Yeah. We will continue going though because she needs the
for
point build.
For the points.
Okay, Chuck. I mean, if you don't get this one right, then there is no hope for you. What colour was Nessa's dressing gown?
That was pink.
Correct.
Alright.
Back in the game? Maybe?
No.
Okay.
Judas Future, like the arm, I'm not confident at all. This is game over.
Okay. Question number 4 for you, Abby.
Okay.
For which charity was Bryn and Nessa's version of Islands in the Stream in aid of?
God. I think it was... Oh, I want to say Children in Need or the one with the bear. Oh, Red Nose Day. Is that Children in Need? I can't even think.
I need a definitive answer. The one with the bear will not cut it.
I think I'm going to go with Comic Relief, but I'm not sure. And I'm going to be really upset if I get it wrong.
It's Comic Relief!
Oh, yes! That was such a guess.
Fuck.
That is 4 out of 4. That means it's
Game
impossible
over.
for Chuck to beat you.
So your score's doubled.
Excellent.
Yeah, so your score's automatically doubled. You're on 4, which means technically you're on 8, but we'll leave it till your last question. Chuck,
Day of my life.
do you want to continue going with your questions?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, that's fine. Your 4th question. What drink is Nessa having at the party?
Oh.
A Capri Sun.
I've got it in my hand.
He's held it up to me just for the audio listeners. Perfect. Okay, that means you're on 2 points.
Cheers, mate.
Your final question, Abby.
Okay.
Name any members of the band that wrote the song Islands in the Stream. So the
Dolly
original
Parton.
members.
Dolly Parton.
So I have to give you that. Yeah, I can't not give you
Dolly
that.
Parton's right.
Yeah. Well done. That's a clean sweep, 5 out of 5, which means your overall score is 20 out of 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Huge.
God. Wow.
Huge.
Maximum points. That is incredible. Well done, Abby. How do you feel?
I'm literally, my smile is so big.
Oh, love it. Love it.
Fun fact, the B-side of Islands in the Stream is Whitney Houston, I Always Love You.
And
But
just as
she covered it.
just a bit
She
of a
covered it. She covered I Will Always Love You. It's a cover.
Okay, fair enough. And the tie break, this is quite an interesting one. Just sort of as reference, how many copies of Barry Islands in the Stream, the charity single, do you reckon were sold?
It's a
Oh,
good
God.
It's a good tiebreaker.
Look, I just want to get an idea from both of you. How many do you think?
Oh God, a good few. Like I'm want to say like a million maybe.
I'm going to go 1.9 million.
God, you guys are way off. 5.5 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to say Comic Relief
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair play.
yeah.
Well, congrats, Abby. You've
Thank you very
pretty much ruined my day, but it's okay.
You've ruined this holiday. Well done, Abby. And that puts you to the top of the leaderboard. And
Before we
it's
leave
impossible to be beaten, really.
Quick question, though.
Yeah.
Are we excited about the Christmas special? Big news this week. Journo saw it. They say it's epic.
Yeah, I've seen. I've looked it up from the wall. It's not even called Christmas Day. It's Gavin and Stacey Day.
Yeah, no, facts. Such facts.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I don't talking facts, talking absolutes.
I've when I heard that Christmas special was coming out, I texted my boss and said, "Look, like I know I'm working Christmas Day, but I've got to be done by 5 to get home."
So you're working Christmas Day?
Yeah, I work every year Christmas Day, but I've said, "Look, there's no chance that I'm missing it, so I'm gonna have to have half the day off."
So I'm going to say this now, and hopefully she doesn't listen. I don't think she does listen, but my mum said one of her friends was potentially with us on Christmas Day. And now this friend, she's been known to talk a lot. And I was like, Mum, that can't run.
Get the fuck
She
out.
is not coming. Because she's going to talk through the show. And I was like, no, she's like, no, you're right. She won't be allowed in the living room. So, yeah, that's the way it's working in our household.
I tell you what, I feel like I've been dethroned, but I feel like a worthy winner.
That's a dig at Cam, isn't it?
Oh, unbelievable. A little bit. But, I mean, the pillows, bit creepy, but we'll get over it. Have you been to Barry Island?
No. It's so annoying because I was in America when they filmed the Christmas special.
Yeah,
and
I was in
like,
Canada as
cancel
well.
my flight,
actually,
but my mum didn't let me.
23rd November, Ruth Jones is switching on the Christmas lights in Barry Island.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I was
we
gonna
go.
try
She
and
knows. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Don't even need to tell Abby.
I mean, there's a third seat right here.
I mean, get me on.
Love it.
So there we go. Another week done. Series 2, episode 5.
Yeah, it's been a
that.
great week for the podcast. We've had a very exciting one, haven't we?
Where we went to the Student Radio Awards. We were nominated for Best Podcast at the Student Radio Awards.
Sponsored by BBC Sounds.
At the O2 in London.
Yeah.
And we didn't win.
No, we didn't even get top 3.
No, we were in the top 6. We got beaten by a boxing podcast.
Yeah, well, I think he kind of like overcome sort of. Basically wasn't an athlete and he kind of went and did boxing.
Mate, you're not bitter.
Yeah, he didn't look like an athlete.
We were in the top 6 in the country. 2.3 million students there are in the UK. So
that's crazy.
We're top 6 out of the top 3 million.
There's over 150 student radio stations.
Probably about 2.2 million of those are too hungover or just not bothered about podcasts. So I'd say we're probably in the top 100,000 maybe.
Yeah.
Out of 6. So maybe rule out a few who just don't like radio. So it's probably not that good an achievement, to be honest.
No, I think we should probably take it off our TVs.
Yeah,
right, cheers.
There we go.
In a bit, bye.
Yeah, subscribe if you like the podcast. Unlike the rest of the student radio world, at What's Occurring Pod on Twitter, What's Occurring Podcast on YouTube. Give us a little review as well on Apple Podcasts. Yeah. Keep them coming in. We're at 4.5 stars now actually on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, some pricks giving us 1 star.
Us 1 star.
If you were that one person, please can you tell us why you gave it 1 star? I'm fine with it. I want to hear your review.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no, I am. I want to pick their review apart.
We think it's a mate winding us up.
Cool, thank you very much. See you guys next week.
Oh, the episode's over. Page your hack for a periera, or in other words, sling your rocker or bake your face.